Colin Kaepernick is a corporate brand, not a revolutionary.
Wow, there's something I have to disprove in your essay, and it was such an egregious lie that
Lie
that I have to go. I quote one great Jason Whitlock, religious platforms. That's our history. Yeah. That's where great black leadership has always come from. Hey, let's go a little deeper into that because one Philip Randolph would disagree with that, and we all know who Philip Randolph is. And if we don't, here's the education. He's a labor organizer who actually came up with the idea on the March on Washington, who was right next to Dr. King in his I Have a Dream speech, who happened to be an atheist. There are others, W.E.B. Du Bois, founder of the NAACP, who just happened to be a free thinker, humanist, and some say atheist. Point being that you don't have to always be in this monolithic model of Christian black values to say that you are a revolutionary. Just wanted to get that out the way. Now let's talk about what you said about the branding. And
I'm going to let you continue, but I want to talk about effective, and I get Philip Randolph, E.B. Du Bois. None of those guys have the legacy of MLK, Malcolm X, and many others, Frederick Douglass, and many others that come from the black church, but continue.
Oh, well, Frederick Douglass, Langston Hughes, Richard Wright, James Baldwin, others, free thinkers. I'm not going to let you go there. Oh, but look, that's for thinking cap another day. Yeah. What's wrong with being a brand? I don't understand this. The point of a revolution is to take the disenfranchised and make that mainstream to affect status quo. And the branding will allow him to have the money, the resources, and can affect the change of policy and legislation, which is all we asked for when he was taking a knee. When he was taking a knee, people said, stop talking, stop distracting, stop going with the awareness model, and give me action. And then the action has now turned into monetary resources, but we continue to move the goalposts against Colin Kaepernick, and I think that's unfair.
Brother, use that Ivy League education up here to educate. That's what I'm talking about.
Every other day, not every day.
But here's the point that I was making in thoughts in line with your thoughts on the monetary value. MLK, 30 years, 40 years later, people were selling I Have a Dream T-shirts and making money off of it. Muhammad Ali shirts 20, 30 years later. Why not him be allowed to make the money from his own name? He has no job. Nike used him, and I'm sure underpaid him for the slogan because they've come out really well. I think it was up 33% the week after. So they've made money.
But go ahead.
Yeah, well, they've made money off of it. So he hasn't gotten the money that I'm sure Nike has made off of it. So this is a way for him to do it in the now, in the present. And it will enact change, as he said, because the man put up his own $1 million, as he said he would, to the fund. He left $20 million on the table when he opted out the deal, or $25 million on the table when he opted out the deal. So he is legitimately trying to do something, and I'm with the brother, man. I'm standing with him.
No, I think that's the big thing. You want to see action. He did bring about action. He committed $1 million of his own money to causes. He also, what I would say, inspired others, not in terms of taking the knee, but you have seen more athletes engaged in the community, doing things, being out there. We've seen athletes have ride-alongs with police officers, guys actually getting on the ground and doing work. So regardless of whether he's come out and been opinionated and been outspoken, what he did was he led a movement of change. Athletes are more involved. And for years, athletes sat on the sideline, didn't involve themselves in the process, and we've seen more people involve themselves in the process by using their platforms to get messages out.
I think we've seen more people talking about and showing, hey, look at me, I'm involved in the process. I think athletes, and again, Bucky, I know you played in Kansas City, and you can go all the way back to the things the Chiefs organization had their players doing in the community. This has always been there. I think there has been a lot more public social media, hey, look, this is what I'm doing now, more so than players doing more. Again, I just can't believe that no one here thinks when you mix in big business and corporations, you want to put your Angela Davis afro on, you want to throw your black fist up in the air like you Tommy Smith, but you also want to be with every big corporation you can be, and you want to offer yourself up, your image up to hairspray companies and lampshades and all the mixing of big business is somehow, to this degree, somehow I'm a revolutionary and I'm for change. This says nothing about where he's at now, and to me, where he's always been, it's always been about his own personal brand and how he can monetize that. I just can't believe I'm sitting here, and again, Ivy League educated. A lot of times, I mean, I'm just telling you, what do they teach you at those Ivy League schools about us? Because if you leave religion out of black people, we basically disappear from this country. We're a modern miracle because of our faith, and I get there have been some atheists along the way that have rode the coattails of others, but in terms of where our leadership has come from and what it has stood on, it's always been a religious deal, and this whole little secular internet Silicon Valley movement has no substance to me, and it's always about money, and it's always about surface level things and not truly challenging the establishment.
Well, the social channel, let's be respectful of the way it used to be. And it used to be a certain way, certain model to get progress. But if you alter that model, doesn't mean you can't still progress. And I think that's where we are with this.
Fair point.
And let's talk about the monetary big business alliance. It's interesting that a trademark is not just to say, I'm going to make some money off of my likeness. It's also to protect you from those who will exploit your same likeness. So if Colin Kaepernick doesn't protect the fro, guess what? Go down Crenshaw. Go down Figueroa. And then you're going to be like, man, where is that money going? It's certainly not going to the cause.
Colin Kaepernick didn't invent the fro.
No.
For one, and he stole it from somebody else. And then, again,
You stole the ball head? I stole the ball head?
You don't think he put that fro on trying to convey some message about who he was?
Oh, I get where you're going with that. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Okay.
Outkast talked about
we
that.
We saw him long before when he wasn't wearing the fro, when he wasn't trying to be Mr. I'm Black Soul Brother #1. He put the fro on trying to say something to everybody about how black he was and how down he was for the cause. And the cause has been and continues to be Colin Kaepernick's personal brand, man.
So would you say the same thing about Pat Riley and 3P and Phil when they were trying to do all that? Was it their personal brand? Would we criticize them the same way?
1,000%. And yes, if we want to put him in Pat Riley's 3P lane and all of that, I get it. Because no one's calling them any kind of revolutionary leaders. No one's following it. They're businessmen. And that's what I've always believed this was about. When his business failed as a quarterback, he switched to, I'm going to be this black militant who never speaks, who never puts his name on it, who doesn't have the courage of his convictions to come out and defend his position like these other people he keeps being analogized to. It's an insult to me, to people to really put their names, lives, and and everything on the line. The man won't even stand up and defend it himself.
But why?
He hides behind all the Kaepernicks and Twitter.
But why should he come out and try to explain it to people who are not willing to listen?
Because everybody else did.
But because everybody else
you
did, don't
would.
make it
You'd
right.
put your name on it.
Well, I would.
You would.
I would.
Thank you.
But he's in a position.
He's not man enough to be the same as you,
He's in
Brian?
a position where he can't win. Because when he comes out, it becomes a black-white thing. Certain people shut him off right now and are not even trying to listen to what he say and trying to listen to his message.
Brian, that's
and so then the president goes and turns what he was trying to. But I'm just saying.
That's an excuse. Martin
At
Luther
some
King
point,
and
it falls on deaf ears.
The people he's being compared to, they all did it. They all survived it. And it was.
I will say something. At some point, you would like to hear him talk because the movement has gone on for 2 years. At some point, you would like him to stand in front of a microphone and say whatever it is the message is. We got the initial message and why he was taking the knee or why he was protesting the national anthem. But at some point, you would like to see him follow through and just let us know, what is it?
Bucky, I would agree with you. But when he tried to do that.
No, he never tried.
He did, and the president of the United States made it a political thing and said that you're not being patriotic, you're not standing for our flag. And the president don't even know the national anthem, but he criticized this man for kneeling for it.
Brian, let's deal with facts. Obama was president when he took a knee.
And what happened?
And so he had every
Trump took over.
He had every opportunity when he started this in 2016 with Obama didn't leave office until 17, until the beginning. So he started this at the beginning of the 16th season in September. He's never come out and really defended his position and did, in the few times that he tried to, wearing his Castro T-shirt, and he stumbled and messed up and sounded like a guy that wasn't really standing on much beyond Twitter.